Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to look at the iPhone SE with you. This is the MetroPCS version. This is also, I believe, either I don't know what capacity this one is. It's the 32 gigabyte version, and I know that a lot of people are going to click off and be like, oh dude, I want to see the review for the 64 gigabyte version. They're the same thing except for different amounts of memory. This one used to cost $300 at MetroPCS in most places, and it was on sale for $150. You can find them at some MetroPCSs for $100 that I've seen online, but those were they depended on your state. And this one is the Space Gray 32 gigabyte. I bought this thinking it was going to be kind of like this, like a little bit bigger, as big as like almost to the edge of this box, but no. What you see on this is the size of it, and a lot of you will say, oh, that looks big and stuff. It's more of a one-handed phone. I got the tempered glass with it, and I got a cool case. The case doesn't have a protective shield, but here's what the case looks like. It costs $5 extra. The tempered glass costs another $5, and the tax on the phone and everything for my state made it out to be $202.37. This phone is super small. You watch YouTube reviews of this phone, it looks really big. It looks like a normal iPhone sized screen, which a normal iPhone sized screen is about, I believe, 2 inches more in width than this, and about 1.5 inches in height. And like I said, it is a one-handed phone. I mean, I've tried to text with it. You can do two-handed, I guess, but like my thumbs always hit each other. Like, just look at that. If I had another 2 thumbs, it would fill up the entire screen. Now, if I had another thumb, it'd fill up almost the entire screen. It's really hard going from, I'm used to a 6.5-inch screen, and I believe it's 4.5-inch width. It's hard going from that to this. It's very, very difficult. I will say, however, the 4K camera is amazing. The slow motion, the 120 FPS at 1080 is amazing. The 240 FPS, the quality dips a whole bunch, but it is still amazing. It's a nice feature to have. I had to lower the brightness on my camera, the ISO, so that the stuff on the screen would actually show up. But here is the phone at maximum brightness. And it actually kind of looks just that bright, but my whole room is more lit up. It's a small room in an apartment, but that's beside the point. It's a pretty bright screen, better than my phone screen, just smaller. To do camera settings for video to control the slow motion, you have to find the camera app icon, click it. It'll say preserve settings, grid, scan QR codes, record video, 1080p at 60 FPS, 720p at 240 FPS. You will notice when you record in slow motion, the quality will be a little bit less than if you recorded just at 1080p at 60 or 1080p at 30. It's going to be a little bit less quality, or 720p at 60. You can do 1080 HD at 120 FPS or 720 HD at 240 FPS. Standard video recording options, so you can actually have the actual ones. There's no 24 FPS, I was wrong. 1080 at 60 FPS, 4K at 30 FPS, 1080 at 30 FPS, and 720 HD at 30 FPS. Testing out the iPhone SE at the Southwest Way Trails in Indiana. This is the built-in microphone. It's not one of those external microphones that you can buy, and it is at 4K 30 FPS like the rest of the 4K video. And usually iPhones have pretty good sound, really good built-in microphones, and pretty good camera quality if you have a lot of light. And I see a bird that I've been looking for to shoot in slow motion. Look at that. If you can see them. Okay, this is the front-facing camera on the iPhone SE. The rest of this video, these tests were shot with the back-facing, which you get better quality with almost every single phone. It's always the selfie cams that look terrible. But yeah, I think I tricked some people when I had the when I was doing the vlog earlier, vlog, whatever you call it, in the woods. You were probably like, oh, that must be the selfie cam. No, that was the front-facing camera as well. And did I say front-facing? I mean the back-facing camera. Sorry about that. That was the back-facing camera that you get the better quality out of all the time. I had it on a tripod with a cell phone mount attached to it. So something I notice about selfie cams, as they call them, as Valley Girls call them, is that the frame rates kind of look a little weird. I don't know if it's just me, but every cell phone I've owned that has a selfie cam, like, especially when recording, you notice the backgrounds kind of lag a bit, and then when you play back on your computer, they lag slightly. That could be refresh rate, could be video bit rate, could be CPU usage on your phone. It generally looks worse as you're recording, and then when you put it on your computer, it looks a little bit better, but you still see some type of lag. And I'm actually curious to see if the iPhone SE, being over a year old, if their selfie cam, like sometimes also with some phones, especially Android ones, the microphone works better when you use the back camera. And when you switch to selfie cam mode, it lowers the audio quality for some reason. So I'm curious to see if, like, the iPhone SE, being a smaller, more compact version, slightly less features, this does have a gyroscope, if you're wondering. So if you need, like, a phone, if you're playing Pokemon Go and you want to use the augmented reality to actually have the Pokemon in the real world, it does work. You do see them in the real world. You can move it around and throw it, a ball, a berry, or whatever, and actually capture it in the real world on your kitchen counter, tabletop, strip club on a hooker's ass, if you need stuff like that. So it's a good phone if you have small fingers and if you're used to small phones. A lot of people are used to small phones. People in California, you have two types of phones in California when I visited there a long time ago. Is they either have the huge phone screens, 8 inchers,
or they have the small phone screens, like the iPhone SEs, really, really small. I don't know what the settings are recording at on this particular clip, because it no longer says the frame rate and the resolution at the top when you switch to selfie cam mode, at least for mine, for the MetroPCS version, or just for mine. I don't know what update this is, like what iOS this is. It might be iOS 10. Probably is, have no idea. Haven't updated it since I got it. So, really curious to see how the quality looks. This is, the time is 9:31. 900 hours, 31 minutes if you're in Europe, the EU. So that's the kind of lighting I'm filming in right now. And earlier I was filming, I believe it was 8:32 or 800 hours, 32 minutes in the EU when I was filming the Force stuff.